From providing companionship and comfort to acting as lifesavers, animals have proven time and time again that they can be a valuable source of help and support. Beluga Whale Lifeguard. In a bid to hire a new whale trainer in 2009, Polar Land Aquarium in China held a contest with the applicants to see who could dive down their 20-foot deep tank in ice-cold water and hold their breath for as long as they could. Yan Yung was one of the youngest in the competition. The first moments of her dive were okay, and she was confident in her training. It wasn't until her leg muscles painfully cramped and she was sinking to the bottom despite her struggle to surface that she thought it was the end. Suddenly, though, Mila, a beluga whale, started grabbing her leg and helped her up to the surface before the aquarium staff even noticed. Beluga whales like Mila are social mammals that are known to be playful, gentle, and kind. Had it not been for Mila's quick action, Yang Yung would have been doomed. Lion Pride Rescue Team. Lions are known for being vicious predators which run incredibly fast and are known for being incredibly strong. However, back in 2005, a 12-year-old Kenyan girl was kidnapped by a group of men and brought to a hut in the forest where she was held and assaulted into forced marriage. Forced marriage is a horrible thing in the area, where men would kidnap young girls and assault them until they were pregnant or agree to be married to one of their kidnappers. Reprehensible. Thankfully, though, luck fell heavily upon the 12-year-old girl when a pride of lions was walking by near the hut and heard her screams of agony and calls for help. The lions, who probably assumed that they were coming from a lion cub or were only curious, went to the hut and attacked the kidnappers until they fled. Not only did the lions stand guard around the hut until the family came and the police rescued the young girl, but they then casually walked away as if it was a common occurrence. Whale Protects Scientist. Nan Hauser, a whale biologist, was diving with her giant aquatic friends when suddenly one of them was pushing her away to the surface. She kept struggling and the whale rolled her around and never left her, till it finally carried her on its back near her boat with her team. Moments later, Hauser spotted the tiger shark stalking them, getting closer by the second. Tiger sharks have earned the nickname the wastebasket of the sea due to their indiscriminate diets. They'll consume virtually anything. This includes human garbage and trash that's been discarded and winds up in the ocean, as well as humans themselves. Evidently, the gentle giant protected Hauser from becoming a shark's dinner. Without the humpback whale's kind actions, Nan Hauser could have probably been victim to a vicious predator's intentions. Gorilla saves and babysits injured boy. In 1996, a 5-year-old boy visited Brookfield Zoo with his family. No, this isn't Harambe, but an entirely different story. What happens later that day would be immortalized. Lavon Merritt was a 5-year-old at the time and was a very curious boy about the silverback gorillas in the zoo. But in an unfortunate turn of events, he leaned too far and fell into the enclosure. He was knocked unconscious because of the fall and lay on the floor as terrified onlookers and his screaming mother watched as the territorial gorillas approached him. Amazingly, one of the gorillas, named Jambo, stood guard and protected Levin, occasionally stroking his back and keeping the other curious primates away from him. Levin suddenly woke up crying, which seemingly alerted the gorillas to clear the area, including Jambo. That moment was the window that the zookeepers were waiting for to climb down the enclosure and lift poor Levin out of the enclosure. Pet pig alerts oncoming driver, saving owner from heart attack. When you think of guardian angels, you'd think of winged creatures with majestic bodies to comfort you in the moments of disaster. You wouldn't be expecting a heavily squealing friend to come to your aid, though. That, though, is exactly what happened on August 4th, 1998. Lulu, a pot-bellied pig, was in the care of her aging owner, Joanne. They lived together in a rural neighborhood close to a beach, but August 4th just wasn't one of their peaceful, calm days, sadly. Joanne was preparing for breakfast when one morning she suddenly felt lightheaded and dizzy. Then suddenly she came crashing onto the floor. Screaming in pain, Joanne was suffering from a heart attack, and suddenly her pet pig Lulu was checking in on her, squealing and trying to stand her up. Moments later, the pig went back and forth to the street trying to get the attention from someone to help Joanne. Lulu kept coming back to Joanne in this ordeal until not long after when a driver saw Lulu, which led him to Joanne and called the ambulance. Lulu's story was one that proved that pigs are smarter than we thought. Sea lion saves suicidal man after jumping off a bridge. Jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco has a 99% fatality rate, but Kevin Hines would be the 1%, all thanks to a sea lion. Kevin, who was suffering from bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and depression at the time, finally gave in to the voices and negative thoughts in his head, and jumped off the bridge, falling hundreds of feet down into the water. This resulted in him breaking some teeth and bones. As he was floating, he suddenly saw a creature swimming below him and was bumping him. Initially, he thought it was a shark and he tried to fight it, but onlookers confirmed after the event that it was a seal that constantly pushed him to the surface until the Coast Guard arrived to take him out of the water. Beaver saved boy from freezing to death. Rial Gwindon, a young boy from Ontario, Canada, had gone on a camping trip with his parents when they chose to go fishing. However, things didn't turn out as they had expected as his parents' boat capsized. Little Rial ran to the nearest community to get some help, but he got lost in the woods. As darkness fell, the temperature plummeted, and poor Rial was out in the cold, fearing he wouldn't wake up the next morning and that he would freeze to death. Miraculously, he awoke the next morning to a furry sensation surrounding him. At first, he assumed it was a stray dog, but it was actually a family of beavers snuggled up against him. This act of kindness from our dam-building friends is what saved Rial's life and enabled him to tell the tale. Elephant saves girl during tsunami. When Amber Owen, aged 8 at the time, went on a holiday with her family to Thailand in 2004, she was unaware that she was about to experience one of the most devastating natural disasters in human history. Amber Owen was on a vacation in Thailand when the catastrophic 2004 tsunami hit, claiming the lives of nearly 250,000 people. Amber could have been one of its victims, but luckily she was riding her newly found companion Ning Nong the elephant when the sea suddenly receded. The elephant, sensing danger, ran away from the beach with Amber still on its back and its handler in tow. Later they watched in horror as the huge wave caused by the earthquake flooded the coast. Miraculously, Amber survived, and her family credited Ning Nong's quick thinking and intuition for saving her life. Deer saves woman held up by robber. An unlikely hero saved a woman in February of 2012 when she was going about her day walking her usual path. Suddenly, out of the shadows, a man jumped at her and held her up. The man was determined to get her money, or anything else of value, and did not care for her life. Suddenly, though, a heroic figure rammed the mugger aside, which made him run for his own life. Upon arriving at the scene, the police couldn't believe that a deer of all people had come to the rescue. Dog saves abandoned newborn baby. On October 31st, 2015, photos of an incredible act of animal courage and compassion went viral after a dog was caught on camera rescuing an abandoned newborn baby in Saudi Arabia. The baby's mother had apparently dumped the baby near a waste bin, and that's where the heroic dog found him. The dog found him still attached to his umbilical cord. He was cold and unclothed, already beginning to take on a purplish hue. The mother had deliberately neglected the baby, intending for him to die. Fortunately, this intelligent dog found the baby, carrying him in his mouth and racing to the nearest home. Upon reaching the door, it dropped the baby on the steps and started barking persistently until the residents noticed and opened the door. Upon opening the door, they were shocked to see the baby and the dog and immediately rushed the baby to the hospital, where he thankfully did survive. This story serves as a reminder that sometimes dogs have bigger and more generous hearts than humans. They're always full of love and compassion, regardless of the situation. Dolphins save man from shark. In a charitable cause for the whale and dolphin conservation movement, long-distance swimmer Adam Walker had set out to swim a channel in New Zealand. Unaware of what lies beneath the deep ocean, Adam had set his mind focused on completing a long-distance swim for charity when a pod of dolphins approached him and swam with him. Thinking that the dolphins just wanted to tag along with him, glad because of what he saw, he kept swimming and didn't mind and kept his thoughts on the course. When suddenly, though, moments after this wholesome event, they spotted a shark stalking below him, waiting for an opportunity to pounce. However, it never did, as its plans were thwarted by the group of dolphins protecting Adam, who finished the course out of harm. Cat alerts woman of heart attack. It's well established that our furry friends have better senses than we humans could ever imagine. Nobody ever thought that they could detect what was going on with our bodies until this kitty changed it all. Rusty, the foster cat owned by Claire Nelson, was on her chest when she woke up one morning and was kneading her with his paws. Claire Nelson acknowledged that she wasn't feeling well and went to the doctor that day upon Rusty's persistence. While on the bus trip, she actually did suffer a heart attack. Fortunately, she was rushed to the nearest hospital, which made her live another day. See you all next time!